Pleasant day, primers, to all our deans, program heads, and faculty members present. Welcome to the second live talk of Prime, Publication, Research, and Innovation module. I'm Trisha Gutinga, your MC for today, and I'm thrilled to be here. There's so many things that awaits for us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are privileged to have with us a multi-awarded nurse scholar, researcher, and educator who substantially contributed to the research community. Our speaker for today is the president of the Phi Gamma chapter of the Sigma International Honor Society in Nursing and the director, of course, of our Research Development and Innovation Center of Our Lady of Fatima University. Without further ado, I would like to present to you our dynamic research director, Dr. Michael Joseph S. Nino.
Okay, so a pleasant afternoon to everyone, our dear primers, and of course, thank you very much, Trish, for that introduction. Okay, so it's been a while since we met each other, no, during our first session for our modules 1 and 2, and now we're going to cover, of course, module 3 for our prime or our publication, research, and innovation modules for educators. And for our first time attendees, okay, so I'm Professor Dr. Michael Joseph Dino. So I'm the Director for Research Development and Innovation Center of the university, and I'm personally handling, of course, this program, especially the synchronous session. So along with our different coordinators from the different campuses, okay? So I can see that they are also here. And of course, our research coordinators from the different colleges of the university. Okay, so last time we had our favorite drink, okay, and that is still true at the moment, okay. So may I see if you have your favorite drink with you? So here's so laging coffee, no. So whenever I do research and I write, no, research papers, I always pair it, of course, with coffee. Yan, so laging kasama natin ang, of course, coffee. And just like the previous modules ng ating Prime, okay, so I encourage everyone to please post your comments, to post your questions at the chat box. So do not wait until the end of the presentation or the session. Okay, so do not wait until the end of the session before we can address your questions. So you can always post your reaction, you can always post your questions or inquiry at the chat box anytime that, of course, you want. Okay, so we're very much excited. I know we have lots of webinars that are going on every now and then. Okay, and hopefully this coming weekend, you will do what you call the digital detox. So we can, of course, get rid or take a pause of on the use of these electronic devices. Okay, and I think that would be very much effective because I'm using that for my pamangkins. Okay, so at this point, let us have a very quick rundown of our participants for this afternoon. So again, because we are registering this one, we are recording your participation. Okay, so can we have, of course, a clap from the Valenzuela campus? Yeah. Let's take a look. Okay, so I'm looking at the participant section right now. Okay, so we have a clap for the Valenzuela campus. We have an okay for QC campus. Okay, a heart for Antipolo campus. For Cabanatuan, we have the smiley. For Pampanga, we have the confetti. And of course, we have the amaze icon for the Laguna campus. Okay, very good. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. Sige, so that's our official icons for the different attendees of our of course prime synchronous sessions. Okay, so thank you very much for those of you who are still coming into our session. Okay, our research specialists will be glad to accept those attendees. Okay, so but before we start, I would like to recognize some members of our peers. Okay, so we would like to recognize, of course, one of our researchers from the Quezon City campus who was recently, of course, awarded uh, the Scholarly Work Appreciation and Nurturance Program of the university. So just an overview. Okay, so the university awards, for example, honorariums to those who will publish in at ISI journals. And one of the good examples would be, of course, si Sir Ernesto B. Andres of the Our Lady of Fatima University, Quezon City campus. So recently, he received um, is one of the grantees of our scholarly work appreciation and nurturance. And we are looking forward, no? So we are looking forward having other faculty members who will be granted, of course, the SWAN program, okay, honorariums as part of their quest in terms of their publication. Okay, so at this point, before we proceed with our equally exciting first topics for this afternoon, so we would like to have some sort of a review of sessions of what we done, what we have discussed last time. So first one, we provided a very good overview of what Prime is. Okay. So in terms of the overview and structure, and we told you that this is our way of training our educators from the university on some of the basic, of course, component of research and publication. Okay, so we also discussed the research groupings, and we're very happy because we can see your postings, no, sa social networking sites, that you are really coordinating with your group members to come up with your respective outputs. Okay, we discussed publication standards, and we identified that in this particular project, we're going to implement what you call the IMRAD format. Okay, so we also identified several ways on how we can plan your study, okay? And what we did is to introduce to you the WWWH framework and of course the TPICO framework, if you can still remember. Okay, so we discussed the types of research, the approach in doing research, may be quantitative or qualitative, and some designs that you can do on your research, especially now that we are in this kind of the pandemic. We discussed also the research databases being offered at the university and the attributes of quality in research. So can you still remember the crave factors? Yes. So a good and quality research, okay, is something that is of course, comparable to both national and international standards, reliable, acceptable, valid, and of course, explicit. And I hope everyone will still remember that, especially in the future, if you will be doing this what you call self-assessment of your research product. Because a good research is one that is comparable, one that is reliable, acceptable, valid, and of course, explicit in terms of the write-up. So before we proceed with our new topic, so we would like to have some sort of, sabihin natin, mini quiz bee, no? So mag-quiz tayo, okay? Uh, and let's take a look if everyone is catching up with the important topics that we are discussing. Okay, I can see, of course, a lot of attendees from the different campuses of the university. Yan. So especially from the College of Medicine, College of Hospitality, no? So we have Dr. Araga there. Hello, Dr. Araga. Ayan. Okay, sige. So let's start our let's start our poll. Okay, so first question, tingnan natin kung nakuha nila, na-gets nila yung concepts that we presented previously. Ayan. Okay? So can we jump in dun sa poll number 1? Okay. So you can see on your screen now is our question number 1. Okay. So please answer. We have around 284 participants right now. And later, after the poll, we are going to reveal the names of those who will not answer the question correctly. De, joke lang. Joke lang po yun. Okay. Sige. So walang ano, no? Kasi everybody is a lifelong learner. So everyone is a lifelong learner. And this is our time to refine our skills. So don't be afraid to commit, of course, errors. Okay? So, tingnan natin. So, this is part of publication standards. Okay. The letter R in IMRAD, which is the international format, no, in publishing research, refers to, okay, tingnan natin. Okay, so far we have almost 53% of our participants answering this question. Okay, for those of you who haven't vote in, okay, so you can see on your screen a poll and you need to click on the right answer. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, huwag na pong i-google. Okay, huwag na nating i-google. Alam naman natin yan. Okay, so letter R in IMRAD format refers to. Okay, so let's identify, no? Letter I is introduction. Every research starts with an introduction. Okay, next. So, syempre, optional. After the introduction, you have your review of related literature, pero optional lang siya. Okay, so M is method. Okay, letter R is results. A is end. Letter D is discussion. Okay, so the answer is result. And let us take a look. I'm going to share the results now of our first poll. And very good. So 68% of our attendees got it correct because letter R in IMRAD refers to results. Okay, so let us now proceed with our question number 1. And this is something to do about the orientation that we provided last time about prime. Okay. So question number 2, which of the following is true about prime? Okay. So first is it intended for students and faculty? Okay. Intended to develop advanced research competencies, exclusive for OLFU educators, and is it composed of synchronous sessions only? So this question is very much tricky, no? So tingnan natin. Okay, let us see the responses. So we have 35%, 36, 48, okay, 46%. Okay, let's wait for the responses of our educators. Again, prime is, which of the following is true about prime? So intended for students and faculty, intended to develop advanced research competencies, exclusive for OLFU educators, and composed of synchronous sessions only. Okay. Sige. So yan. So we got around 75% and we can, of course, end the poll now. So let us share the results. So most of you answered intended to develop advanced research competencies. Okay, believe it or not, the answer is exclusive for OLFU educators. So that is 18%. Okay, why is number 1 incorrect? Because this is only for faculty. This is not being shared to our students, no? Why is intended to develop advanced research competencies incorrect? Because this is, will not intended to develop your advanced research competencies, but of course your basic, no, research and publication competencies as mentioned on our previous session. Okay, you still need, of course, to explore on some of the research inclinations in your field and what are the research niche in your field. And lastly, composed of synchronous sessions only. So nobody answers that, and that is really amazing. Okay, so let us stop sharing that and let us now proceed with our question number 3. So we have 5 questions as a review. Okay, OLFU researchers have access to the following databases, except or software or databases except. So we have Turnitin, EBSCOhost, and EBSCOhost ProQuest and Science Direct. Okay, OLFU researchers have access to the following. We are talking about here the facilities, no? The virtual or online facilities of the university as far as information research is concerned. So we have here 4 choices: Turnitin, EBSCOhost, ProQuest, and Science Direct. So you need to identify which of the following Okay, databases or softwares. Do we have, of course, access or no access? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we got around 54%. Okay. Okay. 54%. So we have 65% answered. Okay. Tingnan natin. You know what? I'm really happy, no? I'm really happy. Why? Because amidst all of our busyness in our university, no, in serving our students from the different levels, no, basic education, SHS, college, and graduate school. So we are still here and learning research. And from our review session this afternoon, I can see that majority of our participants are getting the concept. Okay, so we have 75% and we're going to end the poll now and I'm going to share the results. So majority of you answered ProQuest. Very good because we have Turnitin accounts and you can request for that. We have EBSCO host that's being offered for both students and faculty. We have Science Direct, our very premium research database, no? Na ginagamit in top universities worldwide. We have that, Science Direct. What we don't have is, of course, yet, no? What we don't have yet is our ProQuest subscription. So when we say ProQuest, so isa ito sa mga databases din na ginagamit, but unfortunately right now we don't have it yet. Okay, so hopefully in the future we will have subscription to that. Okay, second to the last question. Okay, which of the following is a valid approach? Okay, now that we are in the pandemic and we are required to produce scholarly output, which one is a valid approach? Number one, replication. Number two, plagiarism. Number three, copying. And number four, pasting. Okay? So yan. So let us answer. Okay. Guys, can you see? Can you see the questions? Yan. Okay. Okay. Can you see the questions? Okay. Sige. So let us take a look. Okay. Which of the following is a valid approach? Replication, plagiarism, copying, and pasting. Okay. So very good. Let's wait for the answers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so let's end the poll now and let us, of course, share the results. Can you see the results in your at your side? Okay, so the answer is, of course, replication. So replication is a strategy in research. So in replication, you take a look at what's being published in your field, and you can apply the same methodology in your own context. Okay, so you can apply the same methodology in your own context. For example, this particular research was done in Malaysia, so you can do a similar research here in the Philippines, but you're going to write a different, of course, article for that using your own words. And lastly, number 5. Okay, structured, it has something to do about your assignment, no? So it has something to do about your assignment. And the question is, a structured abstract is more preferred than conventional abstract. Is that a yes or a no? So based from the preferences of researchers, which one is more preferred? Structured abstract or the conventional abstract. So we define and we describe the differences between a structured abstract. A structured abstract is they have several sections, no? So divided yung several sections dun sa abstract. And another one is, of course, you have your conventional abstract. Conventional abstract is a narrative abstract. So it is similar to a paragraph form. Okay, so we have 55 participants. Okay. Sige. So I'm also monitoring the chat for you guys. So I can see that some of you are having internet connection problems, and I've heard, no, there's a super typhoon in the Philippines coming. So please keep safe. Okay. So I think we can share the results now. So let us share. So our final question is structured abstract is more preferred than, of course, conventional abstract. And that is true. Okay, so that is a yes. And almost 80% of you guys got it correct. Okay, so yon. Next time, we're going to have a game naman. Ano? Next time naman, magkakaroon tayo ng game. Okay. So before we introduce a new topic, of course, next month. So game naman tayo. Okay. So at this point, we are now ready to share with you, of course, a new synchronous modules for Prime. And this is all about writing, no? Writing specifically or starting with our introduction. But all the concepts that we're going to introduce will be also applicable in other areas of the manuscript. If some of you are already writing their manuscript or starting to write their manuscripts, so all our discussions will very fruitful to you. But before we introduce our new topic, I just would like to have a heart-to-heart talk with you guys. So as your research director, so I would like everyone to be successful researchers. I would like every member of the Fatima community to be happy researchers. And as an opening salvo for our presentation, so I would like to talk about happy and successful researchers. So happiness or the essence of joy was being explored in previous studies. So, for example, ganun kaganda yung research, ano? Kapag meron kang mga life questions, meron kang, of course, something that you would like to learn. So, you can search literature and ask for answers to questions. And last time, when I reviewed about happiness and being successful person or researcher, so I have come across a very good paper from Butner in 2017, and she mentioned something about the blueprint of happiness. So this particular research, actually, it's a book. It's a book about several studies about happiness, and according to Butner, okay, ang kanyang research question, yung book niya is nag-focus on the question, who is the most joyful person? Okay, di ba? Everyone is searching for happiness. Everyone is searching for to be a successful. And even this kind of the pandemic, so it stays true. We want to be joyful. We want to be happy, and of course, we want to be we want to be of course, we want to enjoy everything that we do, right? Okay, and this is what was presented in that particular book. Okay, those happy persons are usually resilient persons and survivors. So, for example, if you are a resilient person, chances are you will be, of course, happy. And you know what? There are places around the world wherein we can see happy or joyful persons. So meron daw palang mga lugar, no? So around the world wherein we can see happy and joyful persons. And we call that, of course, the blue zones of happiness. Okay, these are the places or spheres of longevity. Kasi lahat ng mga tao na nakatira dito, okay, karamihan sa kanila ay happy at of course, happy sila at of course, contented sila. Okay. And there are common things about those persons. Okay, tatlo daw ang characteristic ng isang joyful person. What are those? Number one, meron silang pleasure. Okay, number two, they have purpose. And number three, they have pride. And this is what they call the three P's of happiness. So this is the formula according to research. If you want to be happy, you should be a person living with positive experiences. Okay. Number two, you should have a purpose in your life, meaning you should be living with values and passion as a person. And of course, you are living accomplished. All of your dreams, all of your wishes are coming true. Okay? And the formula for that would be happiness plus pleasure, purpose, and pride. Okay? So, mas tatagal ang buhay daw ng tao if you are, of course, happy in what you are doing. Okay, so this is based from the book, which is a compilation of research about happiness. authored by Butner in 2017. So we talk about happiness. How about successful researchers? Okay, so how can we identify a successful researcher as a person, no, and as a professional? So previously, I conducted a study in 2010 entitled um, Sense Making in Thesis Writing, the Attributes of Successful Thesis Writers. And this is the formula now. So if you want to be successful in doing research, so this is a qualitative study. You should have the sense of being a child. You have a sense of being adult and sense of being wise. So this qualitative research, which was completed in 2010. So in this research, we advance a model, no, that will describe uh, how can we be successful in doing research. Okay. So sabi dito, para maging successful ka, you should have the characteristic of being a child, of being an adult, and of course, being wise. So bakit child? Kasi ang bata, meron silang excitement and openness. If you want to be a successful researcher, you should always be excited in everything that you do and you are open to all possibilities. Successful researchers have the characteristic of an adult person wherein you have certainty of purpose, okay? So, syempre, mature ka in terms of doing your research. Kapag merong meeting in developing your course task, so uma-attend ka talaga. And of course, as an adult, a successful researcher is also full of appreciation. You appreciate all the things that may come your way. A successful researcher also has the sense of being a wise person. So meaning altruism, meron kang altruism or a positive attitude. And sometimes being a researcher, it will entail you to take risk. Okay, so yun daw ang formula ng pagiging successful sa research. Kailangan you have the attributes or the characteristic of a child, an adult, and an older wise person. Excitement, openness, certainty of purpose, appreciation, altruism, and risk-taking behavior. However, if you're going to ask me, what would be the key for being a successful researcher? Okay, for me, always think of yourself as a work in progress. That's it. Okay? From a personal perspective, you should always take a look at yourself as a work in progress, right? So you don't see yourself as someone who is perfect. You don't see yourself as someone who don't need additional training. You don't see yourself as someone who, for example, are above everyone in terms of research. But always take a look at yourself as a work in progress, right? So when you say work in progress, kailangan you always embrace lifelong learning. You are open to all possibilities kasi ang research, it's always being updated. And every now and then, there are new topics, there are new approaches. So dapat lifelong learner ka, even without the prime modules. So you should, of course, study by yourself. Another would be life-wide learning. So you need to learn something new which is out of the context of your profession, right? So for example, if you are a faculty member from the College of Business, okay, why not take a look at some of the approaches or designs of research that they are using in the health sector, or vice versa, no? That is possible. And we all also believe in the power of learning by serendipity. So when we say learning by serendipity, this is the learning that occurs unexpectedly from personal and professional experiences. You always submerge yourselves to experiences like this because it will tell you something that you cannot find from different books. Okay? So always see yourself as a work in progress. You embrace lifelong learning, life-wide learning, and learning by serendipity. Okay, so earlier I mentioned to you that one attribute of being a happy and joyful researcher is to see a purpose in what you are doing. And I want every Fatima researcher to find joy in everything that they do, especially in research, and find the reason for being a researcher. Ano ba yung purpose natin? Kumbaga ba if we're going to compare it in the local language, this will answer the question, kanino ka bumabangon? Yan. So kanino ka bumabangon? Okay? In the context of research, what is your reason for being a researcher? And for here, I want to advance a certain model that is very much prominent in Japan. And we call it the Ikigai framework. Yan nga. Sige nga, tingnan natin. Can you please type Ikigai on the chat box? Please type Ikigai on the chat box. Okay? Ikigai, yan. You know what? Isa sa mga nakita ko, if I'm learning something, I write it down or I type it down. Kasi when you write it down or type it down, mas mabilis, no? Pumapasok, hindi nyo siya makakalimutan. Okay, so Ikigai is your joy and reason for being a researcher. Okay, di ba? So you know what? Ang daming mga concepts in Japan, no? Na magandang, alamin. Just like for example, di ba? Sino ba yun? Si Marie Kondo, di ba? Si Marie Kondo. Kapag mag-ayos kayo ng bahay, you should always ask yourself, what are the things that sparks joy? Okay. Pero ngayon naman sa ating session, ang ating formula, ang ating concept ay Ikigai. And when you say Ikigai, it means your joy and reason for being a researcher. Okay, marami daw facets ang life ng isang researcher. You need to identify the research area where you can excel. Ayan. Ano bang area ng research na pwede ako mag-excel? Example, it might be an approach. So for example, if you're not good in quantitative research, ang area ko ay qualitative research. O kaya naman, in terms of the design, I'm not good in descriptive research, but I'm good in correlational research. So something like that. You should find your purpose. What are the research areas where you excel? Okay. Another thing is to ask yourself, what are the research fields when you can earn for a living? Okay. What are the research fields where you can earn for a living? That's a very important question. Why? Because as we all know, we are working, okay, not only for ourselves, but for our families, not only for ourselves, but for our families. And sometimes doing research might be a source of your bread and butter. And we know that. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So you need to ask yourself, okay, the research field where you earn for a living. Okay, okay, you can ask yourself also the research topics that you love exploring. Di ba sabi natin, pero mga topics sa research na we don't love to do. Okay, but there are some research topics that we are very passionate to do. So you ask yourself, ano yun? Okay? So ano yun? So what are the research topics that you love exploring? And finally, you ask yourself, what is the type of research that the world needs right now? What is the type of research that the world needs right now? Okay, then after answering these questions, let us try to combine the concepts together. Okay, and let us form this model. Okay, so the junction of the research topics you love exploring and the world needs is your research mission. Yan daw yung mission mo. Di ba? Yung combination naman ng research topic that you love exploring and area where you excel, we called it your research passion. And that is true if you will reflect on that. And according to the Ikigai framework, the combination of the research area where you excel and at the same time you're earning for a living is your research profession. Okay? And the combination of the research that the world needs and where you earn for a living is your research vocation. Okay, ganda, no? Di ba? Ganda, ang ganda ng framework na to. You ask yourself initially, what are the research topics that you love exploring? What are the research areas where you excel? What are the researches that the world needs right now? And which area of research where you can earn for a living? And at the junction of each of that, you can see your research passion, your research profession, your research vision. and your research vocation. Okay, ang ganda, no? Ang ganda ng framework, ng Ikigai framework. Kasi for example, if you're going to apply it in your own context, o kaya sa akin, no, sa personal context ko, ano yung research passion ko? Ito yung area na nag-excel ako at gusto ko siyang gawin. So ito yung research about technology, no? Sa aking uh, perspective, yung research passion ko, yung technology. Bakit? Kasi ito yung nag-excel ako at ito yung lagi kong gustong ginagawa. Okay? What else? If you're going to ask my research mission, ito yung lab exploring and that the world needs. So ito yung related sa health informatics. No? Health informatics is my research mission. Why? Because I love doing health research on informatics, and I know this is the area that the world needs right now because we are in this kind of the pandemic. Okay, another thing. What is the research field when I earn for a living? And what is the research that the world needs? So it has something to do about education. Education research. Kasi kailangan ng mundo yan ngayon din that we are converting into blended learning, and I can also earn a living for that. Okay, I can also earn a living for that. And my research profession is where I earn and where I excel. So it has something to do about research management, no? So I was known, of course, in terms of our research management. No, this is the field where I earn for a living because I'm the director of the university, and of course, a research area where I also excel. So that is, of course, research management. And if you will be combining your passion, your mission, profession, and vocation, ultimately, that is your ikigai. That is your ikigai, or the purpose of your existence as a researcher. And hopefully, everyone will find their purpose of being a researcher. Ayan. So kung mga ba mag-reflect po tayo, ano yung ating ikigai as far as research is concerned? Okay. So thank you very much for your comments at the chat. I'm receiving a lot of direct and personal message. And yeah, so lahat ng session natin, these are recorded and this is being uploaded at our Prime Canvas modules. Okay, so don't forget your ikigai. Don't forget your ikigai. Okay, because everything's possible in research. Okay, so now that we are warmed up, let us now proceed with the basics of academic writing. Okay, in writing research, okay, so this is one of the most challenging part of being a researcher. Why? Because most of us educators, we are not trained to be good writers, right? Especially in the higher education setup. For example, I'm affiliated with the College of Medicine. Okay? Kaya nga ako nag-medicine kasi ayokong maging writer. Di ba? So something like that. Or others might say, I'm affiliated with the College of Medical Laboratory Science or College of Hospitality and Institutional Management. The reason why I ventured into CHIM or business is because I don't want to be a literary writer. Diba? So these are some of the challenges that we are experiencing. And that would be normal because I started with that. No, I was a nurse, or I am a nurse. Okay, I graduated from the College of Nursing of the university, and I didn't realize that in the future I'll be, of course, excelling in the research field. So that's practically normal. And when we talk about research writing, we have two types, no? So we have academic and scholarly writing. So what is the difference between the two aside from the spelling? Okay, so academic writing is writing or any writing completed to fulfill university or college requirements. I know some of you are taking their PhDs or master's degrees, and yung dissertation, yung ating master's thesis, that those are part of what you call academic writing. Those are part of what you call academic writing. Any research that is a requirement to fulfill a university or college degree, so we call that academic writing. However, if you are writing your research independently, we call that scholarly writing, or any writing produced to inform a specialized audience of other scholars, of course, in your field. And this particular slide will give us a good differentiation of what academic and scholarly writing is. So kapag academic writing, that is towards mastery for program completion. Okay, so for example, I know a lot of our friends and faculty members from the university who recently graduated from their PhD degrees and produced their dissertation. So ano yon? Yung ginawa nila is academic writing. Okay, because this is for program completion. However, I'm also aware that a lot of our faculty members are just doing research for the purpose of discovery, no? For the purpose of advancing the knowledge in your field. So that is what you call scholarly writing. And this is by professionals for professionals. Unlike academic writing, so this is intended by learners to professionals. Kaya nga may defend at the end of the dissertation or defend at the end of the you have your thesis. Okay. So last time we discussed that for our faculty members of the university, we don't require or urge you to use the 5-chapter format, because 5-chapter format, that's very voluminous, that's actually very taxing to do. So what we want for you guys is to apply what we call the IMRAD format. So very short lang po itong research na to. So yung format na ginagamit natin, it will only composed of those parts, the context, the foundation, procedure, substance, and direction, o yung tinatawag nating IMRAD format. So IMRAD format, this is also what you call the international format, no? So international format siya. And this international format research can be applied directly into what you call publishable paper or publication. Unlike kapag 5-chapter format, i-convert ko pa. So added task pa yan. And that is not recommended for faculty members who are very much proactive in teaching, teaching tasks. Okay, ang IMRAD format is composed of around 4,000 to 9,000 words. And I think we start with the basic. No? In understanding academic writing or scholarly writing, everybody needs to understand that a write-up is composed of sentences. And if you are good in crafting your sentences, you will produce a good paper. Okay? So again, an IMRAD format is composed of around 4,000 to 9,000 words as compared to as compared to the 5-chapter format that it will usually it includes around 50,000 words yon, 50,000 words yun. Pero ang IMRAD format around 4,000 to 9,000 words lang, around sabihin natin 20%. Okay, and a good technique in understanding academic or scholarly writing is to consider that every write-up is composed of sentences. And there are 2 types of sentences. Okay? Ano yung 2 types of sentences? Okay, so ano po yung 2 types of sentences natin? Yung 2 types of sentences is, of course, you have the B and the X. Okay? Or para mas madali nating matandaan, you have the box. These are the types of sentences. Okay? So what is B? B refers to bold attempt. Okay. Sige. And X would be cross-reference. Okay, so we are monitoring the chat here. And Ma'am Uy mentioned, can I also ask my students to make use of IMRAD in their research? For undergrad, that is our format. For undergrad, that is our format. But for the graduate school, we're still actually using the 5-chapter format. But for the undergrad, feel free to use the IMRAD format because our manual for research is actually tailor-fitted to the IMRAD format. Okay, so going back, there are 2 types of sentences na ginagamit sa research. Yung isa is what you call the bold attempt and the other one is the cross-reference. Okay, what is a bold attempt sentence? A bold attempt sentence are the sentences in a certain write-up that's coming from the researcher himself or herself. When we say cross-reference, these are very good, no? According to Ma'am Maybell, pag sabing bold attempt, researcher made, original yan. Galing yan sa researcher mismo, using their own words. And cross-reference, okay, coming from other or published articles. So these are cited from previous researchers. Okay? Ito yung dalawang types ng sentences, the bold attempt and the cross-reference. The researcher made and those that are cited from previous sentence. So okay, at this point, I would like to have a certain drill. Mag-drill po tayo. So I'm going to show you a sample introduction. Then now tell me, is it a bold attempt or a cross-reference? Okay, this was a paper that I wrote in the year 2012. And what I'm going to do is I will highlight, okay, so I will highlight the sentence, then tell me if that is a B or an X. Okay, so first, is it a B or an X sentence? Alam nyo, this is the best group ever. No? This is the best group ever. Yan, very responsive ang mga faculty. Okay, so the first sentence is a bold attempt sentence. Okay, this is originally coming from the researcher. Okay, next, let's take a look at this sentence naman. Okay, is this a bold attempt or a cross-reference? Take a look. Yan. Okay, very good. Galing talaga ng mga Fatima researchers. No? This is a bold attempt sentence also. Okay, next. Tingnan natin kung mag-gets to. Is it a bold attempt or cross-reference? Okay, wala talaga akong masabi. Hindi ko talaga kayo malito ng konti. Ano? Very good. Again, this is a bold attempt sentence. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. How about this one? Okay, very good. This is a cross-reference. Cross-reference sentence. And how about the last one? Okay. How about the last one? Okay. So, very good. This is a bold attempt sentence. Okay, master, no? Master na natin ang bold and cross-reference, no? So, yan. So, magandang i-identify. Pero minsan kapag tayo yung nagsusulat, minsan it's quite challenging, right? So, it's quite challenging for us sometimes. Pero that would be, of course, okay. Then, now the question now is it easy to do a cross-reference or a bold attempt sentence? Is it easy to do a cross-reference or a bold attempt sentence? The answer would be, it depends. Depende yan. Kasi, if you want to do cross-reference, kailangan meron ka nabasa. Kasi you cannot give what you don't have. Okay? So you cannot give what you don't have. And ang bold attempt, of course, if it takes time and practice. It takes time and practice. Okay, we have a direct message here from the chat. And our participant asked, is that the same with primary and secondary reference? No. Primary and secondary reference, kapag sinabing primary, your source would be the original. No? Original. Kapag sinabi nating secondary, ang source would be cited. For example, gumawa ako ng article, no? Gumawa ako ng article at ang title ng article ko is Love is a Mysterious Way. Love moves in a mysterious way. Ayan. So for example, yan yung title ng article ko. Then nilagay ko dun sa article ko, Love is blind. Love is patient. Okay. Tapos itong love is patient, kinapi ko to or inano ko to, no? Sinite ko from Santos 2020. Okay. Kapag sinite ko yung love is blind, na galing mismo sa akin, ang tawag doon ay primary. Pero kapag sinite ko, yung sinite lang din nung researcher, ang tawag doon ay secondary citation. Okay? So paano ko isa-cite yon? Love is patient. Santos 2020 cited Indinyo. Okay, 2021. So yon yung primary and secondary citation na tinatawag. Okay, and of course, kapag nagsasite tayo, there are different approaches. Okay? 'Di ba kapag sumusulat tayo, no? Kapag nagra-write up na tayo, nag-i-include tayo ng mga citations. So meron tayong tinatawag na in-text citation at of course, at the end, there should be references. Di ba sa article, kapag nagbasa ka or any book chapter, doon sa pinaka-content ng research, meron siyang mga sinasite. Tapos pagdating sa dulo, makita mo na handun yung full entry or full information about the cited references. Okay? So, yon. So, ang in-text citation, kapag nagsusulat tayo, di ba marami tayong approaches in citing, meron tayong tinatawag na implicit citation, wherein we have the statement, and dun sa dulo, lalagay natin yung author and of course yung year. Okay, just like for example, what is being shown here on our slide, this is the format of what you call implicit citation. Kapag nag-cite ka, ang pinakamabilis is what? Ang pinakamabilis is implicit citation. So for example, you have the statement there, no? Then sa dulo, lalagay mo lang yung author or authors space then after that year. Just like this one, ano? An e-learning system with higher education compatibility is believed to effectively facilitate the learning processes of students. Okay, nasaan yung statement? Yung kulay black. Nasaan yung author or authors? So si Su and Wang. And of course, ano yung year? So syempre may comma yan, space, and ito yung year natin. So iyan ang pinakamadali na approach sa paggawa ng in-text citation. Okay, question. Yung statement ba, do we need to copy-paste it? Do we need to copy-paste it? Or do we need to use our own words? So definitely, are we going to rephrase something that we obtained from previous literature? Yes or no? Do we need to rephrase that? Or we can copy and paste? Okay, please type in R if we need to rephrase or C kapag kailangan nating i-copy and paste. Okay, very good. So ganun yon, no? Kapag may sinasite tayo, we don't copy and paste saka i-cite because that is plagiarism pa din. Unless we will be using what we call quotation marks. Diba? Kapag quotation marks, for example, God is love, we can use, no? We can copy and paste directly. Pero nakakita na ba kayo ng article? Nakakita na ba kayo ng article na puro quotation marks? So meaning, tamad ang researcher. Hindi siya nag-rephrase. So it's recommended that when you cite somebody, you need to paraphrase na tinatawag. So ang tawag natin doon sa process is paraphrasing. Kasi kahit isinite mo yan, pero kinopy and paste mo yung sinabi niya, plagiarism pa din yun. Di ba? Very good. Sabi nga ni Sir John Louis, paraphrasing is life. That's true. Right? You know what? When I was a student, hindi ko alam yon. When I'm doing my research back then, ang ginagawa ko, copy and paste, tapos sinasite ko yung buong paragraph. And mali. Sa pag-cite ng research, no, it should be sentence by sentence. Hindi siya buong paragraph. Kasi lagay mo sa dulo, cite. And mortal sin na ginawa ko, kinopy and paste ko, tapos sinite ko lang siya sa dulo. Bakit? Hindi ko alam eh. Di ba? So a lot of students out there is always taking a look at my dissertation that can be found at the Learning Resource Center. Or sabihin natin yung research ko sa Learning Resource Center, no? Pero hindi nila alam, ang dami kong gustong baguhin doon. Okay? Kasi during that time, hindi ko alam. Akala ko, copy and paste, tapos cite mo lang sa dulo, okay na. Hindi po yun totoo. Okay? So kapag gumawa ka ng citation, you need to rephrase the content because it will be considered as plagiarized. Okay, so again, ito yung format ng implicit citation. How about explicit? In explicit citation, the name of the authors are part of the sentence. Hindi lang siya basta makikita sa dulo, no? Hindi lang siya basta makikita doon sa dulo. Okay, so you have your author, your year and verb of statement. Ito yung sample po niya. Taylor and Todd suggested that social influence affects people's opinion, super influence, and peer influence. So, ayan, clearly presented po dito. Ayan yung author, yung red. Okay? Yung green yung year at yung verb. At ito yung statement. Pero again, this should be rephrased. Kapag kumuha ka from previous sentence or from previous articles, kailangan it should be rephrased in the process called paraphrasing. Another approach, okay, of explicit citation, as suggested by Taylor and Todd, social influence affects other people's opinions, peer influence, and peer influence. Ayan. So as you can see, there are two types of citing o yung tinatawag nating in-text citation. We have the implicit. Ang implicit pinakamabilis kasi after you paraphrase, lagay nyo lang sa dulo ng sentence, open and close, authors and year. Pero kapag explicit, okay, so you're going to put the name of the authors as part of the sentence. Okay, pero syempre, kapag explicit, it's very common yung paggamit natin ng verbs. No? And you know what? One of the challenges ng mga faculty sa OLFU, one of the challenges would be the use of verbs. Yung iba sa kanila, minsan, they are using the same verb. Okay, lagi na sabi, Dino cited, Santos cited, di ba? Ariola cited, di ba? Gotinga cited, laging cited. So, to become a prolific researcher, dapat marami kang vocabulary, marami kang verbs na alam. No? And some of the verbs that are commonly found in the publication are reported, posited, argued, stated, emphasized. So, dapat iyan ay past tense lahat. Okay? So, hindi ata na-capture yung last letter. Okay. Advanced, contextualized, found out, discovered, claimed, believed, cited, proposed, explained, asserted, revealed, enunciated, and of course, you have your believed. Okay, balik tayo doon para mas makita nila lahat. Ayan. So don't worry, everything's recorded. Just like yung isang comment kanina, everything is recorded and you can find the recording of this presentation at our Prime modules, no, located at Canva. So everything should be past tense. So everything should be past tense. So ito yung mga verbs na pwede nyo gamitin. And the key is to see fit. Ano yung mas fitted doon sa sentence ko? So for example, kung report siya, mas maganda gamitin reported. O kaya kapag claim siya, of course claim. Discovered, o kaya kapag experimental, found out, di ba? O kaya kung iyan ay model, mas maganda propose. Okay? Kapag iyan ay issue, pwedeng argued, di ba? Kapag iyan ay narrative, pwede natin sabihin dinyo explain. Okay? Pinaka-simple, cited, yan. So you have believed, asserted, kung pinopromote niya talaga yung model niya. So something like that. So the key is to achieve fit. No, which specific verb is the most fitted to my cited references? Okay, which is the most fitted on my cited references? So yon. Okay? And another question, no? Another question, Doc MJ, paano po ba mag-paraphrase? Okay, and another very interesting question from of course, this is a good friend of mine, si Sir Josephus Kayabyab, no? Can we use both explicit or implicit in writing? Yes. We can combine both explicit or implicit citation. But again, you take a look at the journal where you would like to publish. No? Kasi different journals, meron silang kanya-kanyang styles, meron kanya-kanya silang requirement. Pero for me, to make your paper very flexible, you can use what we are discussing right now. And if there's specific, mas madali nang i-convert yan later. Okay? So yon, we can combine both explicit and implicit in writing. Kasi mas maganda, as a researcher, you need to maximize the different approaches. You need to learn to combine different approaches together. Kasi kung same lang, na implicit lang or explicit lang yung gagawin natin, no, it will make our write-up boring. Di ba? Kasi predictable ka in terms of your citation. Pero kapag ang ganda-ganda ng sulat mo, tapos i-utilize mo pa yung iba-ibang approaches, so that will improve the way or manner on how you write your paper. Okay? So yun. Kumbaga ba, for example, kung ikaw isang superhero, hindi lang isang superpower ang ginagamit mo. You are utilizing your different superpowers. And that is through creative combination of both explicit and implicit citation. Okay, so at this point, let us take a look now. Doc MJ, paano ba yung pagpaparaphrase? Okay, but first, let us define what is paraphrasing. I know for some of you, it might be basic, but let me, of course, remind everyone of some basic terminologies that we are using for research. So when we say paraphrasing, that is restating and citing one's ideas or others' ideas using your own words without altering its meaning. So meaning, ang ibig sabihin nito, when you say paraphrase, that is telling other ways of saying something. Okay? Other ways of saying something. Okay. So let us take a look. For example, kinurot kita. Anong sasabihin mo? Please type in on the chat. Everyone, when I make kurot to you. Okay. So yun. So, ano sabihin mo? Ouch. Social naman. Okay. Ano pa? Aray. Ouch. Okay. It hurts. Yan. So dapat, pag sinabing paraphrasing, you have other ways of saying something. Ganon din sa research. Hindi lang laging isang paraan, di ba? Di ba? Sabi nga, Brian, problema mo, array, aray, agoy. Okay. So yun dapat. Okay. So dapat marami kang ways na pagsasabi ng isang bagay. And I think that would be a good practice on how you can be a good research writer. You should have other ways of saying something. Expand mo yung vocabulary mo. For example, tinanong ka, what is your name? My name is MJ. Tapos tinanong ka na naman, sabihin mo, my name is MJ. So, paulit-ulit lang. That makes you a boring researcher. Pero kapag tinanong ka, what is your name? My name is MJ. The next time tinanong ka, you can call me MJ. Another, MJ is my name. What's yours? Di ba? So something like that. You should have other ways of saying something. At ang tawag doon ay paraphrasing. Okay, there are different approaches on how you can paraphrase. But I will teach you the easiest approach. Okay? Example. Magbigay tayo ng example to concretize our understanding. Okay. So, for example, we have here a source article. Nandyan yung author natin. Okay. So, here's our source article. Nandyan yung author natin. Tapos, ano yung steps ng pag-paraphrase? So, ang tanong, how would you paraphrase the following? Again, yung source article natin, ang title ay Coronavirus in the Philippines, the COVID-19 Risk, Impact, and Measure. Ang author ay si Praveen Dudu, and it was published last March 31, 2020. At yung actual words na ginamit niya ay Philippines, one of the high-risk countries from the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak, recorded the first death outside China. Okay. So, before we proceed, we have a question here. When we paraphrase, the idea you want to convey should basically the same idea of the author you're citing in your article. Yes, that's the purpose of citation. You are advancing what was discovered previously, but using your own words. Okay, and siguro I can remind everyone also then that in a single sentence, you can have multiple citations. For example, meron kang binanggit, madaming researcher previously ang nagsabi nun. So you can have multiple citations, not only one. Or in other approaches, you can have one sentence na may dalawang clause tapos may dalawang citation din. So yun, pwede siya. Okay, for me, nung nagsisimula ako na magsulat sa research, alam niyo yung tekniko, I'm reading articles. I check Science Direct, tapos kapag binabasa ko siya, nakikita ko, ang ganda nung ginawa niya doon. Ang ganda nung pagkakasulat niya nito. So, inaano ko yun, hina-highlight ko yun. ako gagawin ko to sa susunod kong research paper. Ganito yung paraan ng pagsasite ko. Kasi ang ganda ng pagkakasabi niya. So minsan, you take a look at how other people or researchers are doing it. Then you can apply that on your own context. Okay? So sa simula, pwedeng adapt ka ng style, pero later on, form yung tinatawag mong personal style of writing. Okay? So okay lang sa umpisa. Medyo adapt ka, replicate, idol. Pero pagdating sa huli, you will then develop your own style of writing. Okay? Okay? Yes, tama yon. Okay? So, in paraphrasing, marami tayong mga softwares na pwedeng gamitin. Pero syempre, let's consider na kapag gumamit tayo ng maraming software, it will make the students tamad, no? Pero sa umpisa, pwede naman yon as we explore on the apps na ginagamit for research. Okay, so going back. So how are we going to paraphrase? So first, identify the source article, the author, the date published. And step 1, look for words with potential synonyms and praise the new sentence with citation. Okay? So let us take a look. So let's apply step number 1. Look for words with potential synonyms. And as you can see here, ano yung may mga potential synonyms natin? Yung Philippines, may synonyms ba siya? Wala. Okay, wag niyo sabihing maharlika ha. Okay. So one of the high risk, yan. Yan, may synonyms yan. Countries, may synonyms din yan. Wuhan, walang synonyms yan. Coronavirus, walang synonyms kasi ano yan technical term yan. Outbreak, may synonyms yan. Recorded, may synonyms yan. Death, may synonyms yan. China, walang synonyms yan because that is a proper noun. Okay, after identifying the words with potential synonyms, what you're going to do is to look for possible synonyms. At ang ginagamit ng mga undergrad na nire-require ko is yung thesaurus online. So for example, recorded. So you identify the synonyms of recorded. Just like here, lahat ng mga dark colored, yun yung mas malapit. And yung light colored, yung medyo malayo na yung meaning. So, syempre, mas maganda, you choose on the dark-colored words that are closest to synonym to the term that you typed. Okay, so let's fast-track this one. So, ayan. So, from the different words with potential synonyms, I list down the synonyms. For example, yung risk, danger, hazard, countries, community, outbreak, pandemic disruption, recorded, documented, registered death, casualty, or demise. Okay. So then after that, step 2 is to praise the new sentence with citation using the synonyms. Okay. The Philippine community documented its first casualty from the coronavirus pandemic due to 2020. As you can see, they have the same thought, but of course, different way of mentioning this. Okay? Another way, pwede nyo baligtarin, pwede nyo siyang gawing explicit. Paano yun? Dudu 2020 stated that the Philippines has recorded its first casualty from the Wuhan pandemic. Okay. So that is how, of course, you paraphrase. That is how you paraphrase. Okay? And do what you call citation. And again, reminding everyone, no? Again, what are the two types of sentences? Sige nga, paki-type nga sa chat box again. What we are covering so far, what are the different types of sentences? Okay, ano yung B? Sentences, no? So B, ano yung B? Bold. Okay. What is X? Cross-reference. Okay? So we have your cross-reference, the B and the X. Saan natin ginagawa yung citation? Sa B or sa X? Very good. So we are using this for cross-reference. Yung bold, syempre galing sa atin yan. It will require practice. Pero yung cross-referencing, that is a skill that we need to, of course, acquire sa paggawa ng research. Okay? Yung cross-referencing skill. So again, the main thought is you cannot give what you don't have. If hindi ka nagbasa, if wala kang binasang articles, hindi ka pwedeng makapag-cite. Di ba? Pag wala kang binasa, hindi ka pwedeng makapag-cite. So you cannot give, of course, what you don't have. So ano ba yung mga techniques? What are the different techniques on how I can start writing? So firstly, when I was about to write previously, ang ginagawa ko, nagbabasa muna ako ng mga articles. Tapos, actually, may akong sample dito eh. Ayan, kasi ngayon marami ko sinusulat na papel. Okay? Pina-finalize namin ang research ng criminology, no? So, ayan. Meron akong mga research papers dito at ang ginagawa ko, so, hina-highlight ko siya. No? Kapag nagbabasa ako ng articles, hina-highlight ko yung mga citable, no? Citable na mga phrases from previous published paper. So, ang tawag ko doon ay citable cites, hindi quotable quotes, no? So, hina-highlight ko siya. Then pagka-highlight ko, okay, syempre, habang hina-highlight ko, pumapasok 'yan. Okay, pumapasok 'yan sa mind nyo. Kaya kapag nagsulat ka, uy, maganda 'yung sinabi ni balik ka doon, rephrase mo, tapos i-cite mo siya. 'Di ba? So siguro before ako mag-start, siguro nakascan ako ng mga around 20 papers already. Kapag nag-start na ako magsulat, nakascan ako ng 20. And since you have 6 members in your group, 'di ba? Working together, no? So pwede kayong magbasa ng different articles tapos i-summarize niyo yung mga citable sites or quotable quotes. Then after that, you compile that at pwede na kayong magsulat. Kapag marami na kayong nabasa at nabasa ng mga kasama nyo, marami kayong areas or marami kayong sentences na pwedeng i-cite. Question: when you produce a certain research, it might consist of 20 to 30 to 40 or over 60 citations. The question is, how are researchers managing yung mga articles na nabasa nila? Kasi syempre, di ba, kapag gumawa ka ng paper, it's not only 20 papers na sinasite mo. Sometimes it go beyond 60, 80, 100. So as a researcher, as a Fatima researcher, how can we make it more efficient? Paano natin minamanage yung mga article na pwede nating i-cite? Okay, so dito na pumapasok yung assignment nyo, yung technology-driven literature management. Remember, when we end up last time, I asked everyone to download Zotero. Di ba? I asked everyone to download Zotero. Doc MJ, what is a Zotero? Zotero, as they call it, is a personal research assistant. And in simple language, Zotero is a software that will compile a list of the articles that you have read for in-text citation later. Okay, so maganda. Collect nyo muna yan. Okay, very good, no? Si Ma'am Mabel gumagamit ng Zotero. And you know what? Zotero is similar to EndNote, no? SiteRef, Crossref. So ito yung mga bibliographic management software. Pero kung papipiliin ako, sino pipiliin ko? Si Zotero. Bakit? Una-una, libre siya. Okay. Number 2, mabilis siyang gawin or mabilis siyang gamitin. And kung merong bayad ang Zotero, mag-i-invest talaga ako dito. Kasi for me, mas madali siyang gamitin as compared with other proprietary softwares na ginagamit for citation management. Siya pa rin yung pipiliin ko kahit may bayad siya kasi maganda siyang gamitin. Okay, so guys, ang Zotero ay libre. Okay, sabi nga nila, the best things in life are free. And ang Zotero, you can download that. You can use it for Macs, Windows, and of course, for Linux. Kaya ito yung lagi nating sinishare sa faculty kasi ang Zotero, libre, madaling gamitin. Okay, so just an overview. Kapag nag-download kayo ng Zotero, ito yung itsura niya. Ayan yung mga parts. Yes. Ang Mendeley po, same din siya. No? Mendeley and EndNote from, ito pala yung friend ko, Sir Hernan Labaw. Yan. Mendeley and EndNote reference management din siya. Pero doon tayo sa libre at maganda. Okay. Zotero. Okay. So don't worry, baka in the future magkaroon tayo ng EndNote. Who knows, di ba? Mag-subscribe ang ating university sa EndNote so that our researchers can use other reference citation. Okay. So yan. So paano ba natin gagawin? Paano ba natin aayusin? Okay? So for example, you read 20 articles already. So my suggestion is you need to input that to Zotero. So paano tayo mag-input? Parang nag-i-input lang ng grades. Diba? Click nyo lang yung positive sign. Tapos, yun, yung positive icon. Ito yun, no? So, example, nakapagbasa ka na ng 20. You have read 20 articles already. So, you click on the plus sign. Then after that, for example, that is a journal article. Pagka-click nyo yung journal article, lalabas yung spaces that you need to fill. In terms of the author, anong title, anong volume, issue, anong DOI, anong ISSN, etc. So madami yan na kailangan yung i-fill up. Question, matrabaho? Matrabaho. Kayang isingit? Pwede. Pero syempre, dahil tayo ay smart researcher sa Fatima, merong way na mas madali nating i-input yan. Kasi kapag ima-manual input natin, isa-isa natin ipapasok yung article. No? Isa-isa natin ipapasok yung details ng article, ita-type natin. Just like for example, kapag nag-encode tayo ng grade, manually yun. Ini-encode natin yung, for example, tina-transfer natin dun sa university format from Canvas, kina-copy or paste, or sometimes you do encoding individually. No? So mahirap siya. Pero what I will urge you to do is to use what we call the identifier input. No? Gumamit kayo ng identifier and this will make your life easier. So ano ba yung mga identifier? Ito yung ID system ng mga articles. And we are fortunate at Fatima kasi lahat ng articles na makikita nyo sa EBSCO at Science Direct, meron siyang identification. Okay? So meron kang identification. So for example, ang identification, hindi lang yan article, pwede rin yung books. Ano yung identification sa books? ISBN number. Sa common article, I can see Doc Freud. Okay? Yan. So Doc, ano yung sa mga articles? Ano yung pinaka-common? Ayan, na-highlight tuloy. Sorry. Okay, so yan. So that is the DOI number. Yan mga mentis ko yan eh. Okay, so you have your DOI number. Okay. And sa health field, meron tayong PubMed ID. So ito yung mga ID or identification system ng mga articles. Sa lahat ng mga published articles, especially in reputable journals, so meron silang mga ID. So saan makikita yon? Usually sa article sa first page. Just like this one, Ito, nandito yung DOI sa baba. So tingnan nyo to. Check yung Science Direct. For example, Journal of Business Research. Okay? Tingnan nyo dun sa dulo. Meron siyang DOI number. And paano malalaman na DOI number yon? So ang DOI number nag-start sa 10 point. Okay, ang DOI number nag-start sa 10 point. Okay, so according to merong sharing, no? May sharing si Doc Daing. You may also want to try the citation machine. Yan. So yon, actually ang daming possibilities, no? Daming possibilities. All we need is to explore, no? Okay. So paano gagawin natin dito para mas madaling ma-encode? So instead of clicking the plus sign, you click the magic wand. Parang si Harry Potter, no? You click the magic wand and a box will appear. Enter the ISBN, DOI, PMID to look up in the box below. Okay? So, yan. Okay, so kapag in-input nyo na siya, so makikita nyo po doon, automatically lalabas. No? So automatically lalabas yung mga article. Yan. Okay, question. Once na na-upload nyo na lahat, no, yung mga articles nyo, ang question now is, at nasulat nyo na yung article mismo, so paano gagawin natin? Okay, how can we create or generate the references? Okay, so we can generate the references by selecting all what we have encoded, and I think later you need to you need to explore this one in your own Zotero. So i-right click nyo siya, Okay, then after that, okay, so pagka right click nyo siya, so pili kayo ng citation style. At kapag napili nyo na yung citation style, example, yung pinaka-common, you have the APA. Okay, so punta kayo sa Word. Okay, punta kayo sa Word. At of course, i-paste nyo yung references. Okay, and meron ding sharing si Sir Eliseo, no? So you can also use the Google add-in. Okay, and that would be our topic, no? For susunod na ating synchronous session. So paano natin gagamitin ng Zotero kapag nagsusulat tayo para i-automate siya. So before we proceed further, so let me of course give a demonstration by sharing my screen. Okay? So ito ang aking screen na magulo. Okay, yan ang screen ng researcher. Okay. So ang gagawin natin, so open natin yung Zotero. Yan. Okay, so ito po yung Zotero. Naka-install na sa aking Mac. Okay? So for example, ngayon meron akong sinusulat na lit review, no? So ito na-encode ko na lahat. So open nga natin yung mga possible na Can you see my screen, guys? Can you see my screen? Yes or no? Just to check if you're seeing my screen. Ayan, okay, very good. Okay, so I can see your faces. Okay, I can see your voice. Okay, so yon. So this is for example, for every research na ginagawa ko, meron akong folder. So meaning, yung isang folder na yan, it refers to one research project. Okay. Kahit yung mga sa advice ko minsan nandyan. Okay. So yan. So for example, na-upload ko na siya. So ito yung mga nabasa ko. Pwede rin akong magdagdag actually. For example, meron akong article na nabasa. Ito yung DOI niya. Copy ko lang. Okay. So paano ko i-encode again? Magic 1. Tapos, teka lang. Wag dyan kasi project yan. Okay. So lagay natin prime sample. Okay. Sa bawat research paper nyo, kailangan meron kayong isang folder. Okay, then input nyo lang, for example, DOI. Kapag in-enter nyo siya, ayun, automatically pumapasok siya. And another thing, okay, input ulit tayo. Okay. Ayan, okay. So nakita nyo, pumapasok yung mga article automatically. Hindi na kayo mahihirapan. Okay. So, yan. Ayan. So, pumapasok yung mga articles. Question. For example, mga 50 articles na yan, no? Nagamit nyo na yung sa citation. Paano nyo i-generate yung references? Paano nyo i-generate yung references? So, dagdagan pa natin ng isa. Okay. Ayan. So, syempre, punta kayo sa Microsoft Word. Okay. So, create tayo ng panibago. Create tayo ng panibago. So, lagay lang natin dito, references. So, from here, you select, right-click, create bibliography from selected items. So, gamitin natin APA, copy to clipboard, okay. Tapos, lagay natin dito, i-paste natin dito. Ayan, okay. Automatic siya. Kung napansin nyo, naka-format na siya. So, no need to format this. No need to format this, no? All for this session. By next week, we will have additional synchronous sessions for this month. And next week, I'm going to teach you on how we can do academic writing na So yung paggamit mismo ng Microsoft Word at nung Zotero on how we can put all of these things together. And we're going to start with writing the introduction. So again, so before the meeting next week, okay, so we will be announcing kung kailan yon at anong oras. Okay, so you need to download your Zotero. So you need to work with your groups. Mag-encode na kayo ng articles, no? You encode articles that are related to your proposed project. Yung gusto nyong i-cite in the future. Okay, then you need to upload the course task to our modules. Okay? So there will be months na meron tayong mga series of training because or series of synchronous session or workshop kasi may mga topics na kailangan nating i-divide into several, of course, into several parts, no? Okay, and before we end our session for this evening, okay, we would like to share with you the parable of a pencil, just to wrap up what we have discussed right now. Okay, so this is a story, no, a parable of the pencil, and it goes like this. So the pencil maker took the pencil aside just before putting them into the box. There are 5 things that you need to know, he told the pencil. Before I send you out in the world, always remember them and never forget, and you will become the best pencil you can be. One, rule number one, you will be able to do many great things, but if you will allow yourself to be held in someone's hand, the value of mentorship. Rule number two, you will experience a painful sharpening from time to time, but you'll need it to become a better pencil. Rule number three, you will be able to correct any mistakes you might make by using the eraser on top of your head. Okay, four, the most important part of you will always be what's inside because it will enable you to make a mark. And finally, on every surface you are used on, you must leave your mark. No matter what the condition, you must continue to write. Okay, so with that, thank you very much to our dear educators for being patient and for, of course, joining us on our session. And I hope you learned something new today that will be, of course, further enriched by next week on our additional uh, session.
So good evening, everybody. We have so much to brew in our 1.5 hour of discussion. And I'm totally blown away with the concept shared with regards to the appropriate citation and paraphrasing. And of course, the utility of Sotero. Moreover, this is my key takeaway for this session. The principles of happiness and sense making resonated to me at a human level, and this triggers or motivated us to become a better researchers. So with that, please wait for the further announcement regarding the next session for next week. And I hope we keep in touch with regards to our announcement. Please check your canvas from time to time. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.